Well, this is going to be my version of a tribute to Snakepliskinist. I haven't had any wine slushies, but I have had a few coolers, so hopefully that qualifies. I wanted to take a moment and just thank everyone who's subscribed and watched my uploads and had such thoughtful comments in the comments section. I really appreciate it. And you know, I'd started this channel not really thinking I'd be doing anything more than talking to myself. And the fact that anybody at all is paying attention is really encouraging, and it does make me want to produce more content in the future. I am still working on part 2 of my commentary with Dan Courtney and Cy Tinbergenkate's informal discussion, so I'll upload that probably part 2 sometime this weekend. One thing I did want to discuss tonight is this constant assertion by theists that atheists have to leave atheism in order to defend atheism when they posit other deities in an attempt to sort of illustrate for the theist the difficulty we have with their argument. And I'll illustrate that here. I was going to illustrate that here. However, I accidentally pressed the home button. Hopefully somebody will edit this part out for you. I don't know if it'll be me.
Doesn't exist.
But you just said you could be wrong about everything.
I've changed my mind, right? So,
ladies and gentlemen, an atheist has repented and changed his mind. I'm impressed with that. Let me ask you this. Is everybody's thinking...
No, I've just disproved your religion. I would have thought you would have been putting up a more robust defense than this.
No,
I just told you that God doesn't exist.
What you did to do that is you gave up atheism in order to do that.
No.
Because atheism says we don't know.
So, this is common, right? And I'm not sure if he's being disingenuous here or if he really doesn't get it. But I'd kind of like to address the theists directly. Guys, that's not what we're doing, right? There are several reasons that an atheist might posit a deity for the purposes of argumentation. The one might be to propose a deity that is pre-existing, like the God of Islam, to sort of try and say, well, okay, even if we were to accept your God claims, how do we know it's your God? Why should we accept your claims? There are countless claims of deities, and we're going to need some reason why yours would stand alone. And of course, this is multiplied if we're going to talk about the different interpretations of the message of different supposed deities. I mean, this would multiply it thousandfold, of course, because even with this Christian God alone, there are many interpretations, and a lot of them are mutually exclusive. So that's one reason. The other reason that an atheist might posit another deity, and typically these will be with the more sort of modern made-up deities like the flying spaghetti monster or the ghost that never lies, would be to sort of mirror image the qualities that have been bestowed on the Abrahamic gods, for instance, and to sort of say, can you not see how absurd this is? Or, okay, now try to disprove my deity. Now that you understand how indefensible it actually is. It's an attempt to mirror image that for the theist so they can understand the position that we're in. We're certainly not leaving atheism to do that. Hypothesizing actually is a great tool in thought and in discourse to explore, right? To mentally explore. And I suppose when you're closed-minded to the truth, you have no need to explore. Hopefully a person would be open-minded and would be capable of doing that. But we're certainly not leaving atheism. That's ridiculous to assert that. So, the other thing I think is that kind of assertion during any kind of a discourse is an enemy of that discourse. It's very difficult to continue talking to someone when it's pretty clear they're not listening to you. And when someone, talks like that, like Eric was doing in that clip, you really don't feel like you're being listened to. To contrast that, I've been listening to a lot of the dogma debate since discovering that through the episode that Cy was on. And I find it really great. They're thoughtful. They have a great sense of humor on that show, and the topics are fairly decent. The one I listened to today had a theist on, and they talked about the historicity of Scripture and the resurrection and that sort of thing. And towards the end of the debate or the talk, the theist had said, I really appreciate how gracious you guys have been, and and I thought that was really cool, because that's really what it's all about when it comes to discourse: open, frank, honest discussion, where you don't necessarily leave changing your mind, but you leave feeling like you've been heard, and you leave with some points of view you maybe never contemplated before. And I think if a person really is going to have a change of mind or a change of heart, it's actually in the quiet moments after a talk like that, where your introspection, and you sort of think to yourself, yeah, geez, they had a good point there. And maybe quietly you alter your thought processes just a little bit. And I think that's really powerful. But that's only going to happen when you're able to let your defenses down, because you feel like you've been in a safe place to talk. And that's the sense that I got from this dogma debate episode that I listened to today. And it's definitely not the thought that comes to mind when watching something that Cy ten Bruggencate or Eric Hovind have been involved in. Those leave me feeling sticky and wet, and not in a good way. So anyway, thanks again everyone for watching. I'm going to go finish my last cooler. Hopefully this upload isn't too unintelligible, since I've had a couple, but I really, really do appreciate everybody who's been watching and commenting, and it does make me feel like I'm part of the discussion, and it encourages me to go further. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Take care. Snakepliskinist does it. Why can't I? Because he's got them. He puts them on his channel.